It is a real dude. He's got coronavirus now, as a matter of fact. They released it today or yesterday that
Joey E's got Corona V.
That he's got. Oh, speaking of dancing though, you guys see Drake's new dance?
No, Drake has a new dance.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, you know that motherfucker just is. First of all, you already know, and they're gonna hate, but there's no way, dude. Drake is one of the #1 hit makers of all time. And that dude, for whatever reason, he just knows the formula. He always knows, how to be right in front of everybody else without being far at all. He's got the formula down, and he did a TikTok song yesterday called the 𝗚𝗚cie Slide or the 𝗚𝗚cie Slide or some shit. Yeah, I can't believe y'all didn't know this shit. It's already blowing up.
I did see that he put out a song when I checked the new music this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, of course Drake put out a song right now. That's
4 million views in 19 hours. That sounds like Drake.
It's okay.
And I watched
it's not a Beyonce album, it didn't break the internet or anything.
I mean, I watched it. I watched it. And everybody else is like, oh, the song is so catchy. And it's like, I hear it, why it's catchy, but it's not catchy to me. It's already annoying. And it's already it's a very simple, not very good song. But it's not made to be that. It's made to dance to. And they made this dance to it. The dance, in my mind, is not that tight. But the thing is that it's just new enough. It's just a small little dance that everybody can do. And it's genius, boy. And the boy put it out. He's already got motherfuckers on there doing it. And again, it's just simple enough for everybody to do.
Yeah.
But also looks tight if you know what you're doing. And that shit's hilarious. I think it's tight.
I'll have to check it out. Is there a full video to it?
He recorded the entire video in his house. The beginning of the video is empty streets. Because Toronto's on lockdown. Or wherever the fuck he lives. Fucking Canadian. And him and all his homies, all their heads flop around when they talk. I know that from South Park. And he's in this fucking house that's the size of the Hilton. Yeah. It's hard as fuck. His house is tight. And he's just walking around his house dancing, doing the Toosie Slide.
Just in different places in his house, he's just doing that and singing the lyrics to the song.
Yeah.
He's wearing a face mask.
Oh, he's also wearing a face mask too.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. He knows how to play this game.
Just a face mask though, right?
He's stuck at home too.
Wearing gloves too.
Just a face mask and gloves. The rest, nothing else. Just naked and face mask and gloves.
He says black leather gloves, no sequins. I don't remember how the rest goes, but I know that he even refers to the gloves. And then he talks about you could dance like Michael Jackson, and don't you want to dance with me? That's how the song goes. Here, play that shit a little bit.
This whole video is just him flexing that house because it's insane.
Here, look. We'll cut this part out. Y'all going to have to go look at it on your own on the YouTube. But by the time you hear this might be brand new to these two. I'm sure by the time you hear this, which is only going to be in a couple days, that shit's going to be annoying. But until then.
Yeah, let me hear it.
That's hilarious.
Did you check the alert?
Come on, dude. I hate when I get double ads.
Oh.
It's the fucking worst. What the fuck, dude? I paid my bill.
Credit where credit's.
Here, I'll start it from the beginning.
10 million people on TikTok using the hashtag 𝗚𝗚cie Slide.
10 fucking million.
There's 10 million people on TikTok?
One of the biggest people on there has 40 million followers. 45.
And
She's
dancing
16.
is one of the main things all these kids do.
Yeah. This is the thing. I see all the chit-bap, chit-bap.
Boy, I tell you, man, that boy Drake on another level.
Should we start a TikTok?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to already. No, we do have one. We have one. Go follow us on TikTok. There's nothing on there, but LRVT Podcast on TikTok is taken.
Mostly just going to be videos of Justin doing chugs of beer he doesn't like.
Sure, and then every 10 episodes, we'll just chop all those into one long video.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah.
Hey, if you follow LRVT podcast on TikTok, suggested accounts are World Health Organization.
Okay.
We Are Humanitarians and the UN Migration.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know what they have to do. Oh, and JLo right after that. So
Sweet.
we got the 4 perfect ones.
Hell yeah.
Right on. I'm glad they heard you talking about them geese that one
Hell
time.
yeah. Ass and health. That's all we care about around here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what time is it? It's 5:37. Oh, it's kind of early, I guess. It's early for, I feel like we got used to doing kind of later joints. April 3rd, 2020. My name is Justin. To my right, your left, that's going to be Steven.
Yo.
Across from us, always producing, is the one and only incredible.
I'm in a new place.
That's Eric. And this is the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto up in this bitch.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Quarantine and all.
Yeah,
And
this
all.
is the first time I've like sat down somewhere else outside of my house since last time I think I was here. It's
Yep.
undisclosed location.
I had to hit the bank drive-through.
Mhm.
Wiped that shit down like fucking 𝗹𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗋𝗋.
Yeah, little known fact about Howie Mandel. He's a germaphobe.
Hell yeah. I bet that boy is like, what are y'all doing? He'll be stealing all my supplies and shit. Everybody taking my steez. You think he feels like that? You think he feels like the hipster of being a germaphobe right now?
That he knew of him first.
Yeah.
He knew of the germs first.
I did that before it was cool.
Yeah. I did that before everyone had to.
Stupid weirdo.
Fucking Howie Mandel, let's make a deal, buddy.
But hey, that's how I'm treating everything now. So I went to the bank. That happened. They said today, Colorado governor came out and was like, y'all should be wearing cloth masks at the very least.
Do you wear a mask when you go out?
Only when I'm going, if I go in somewhere, like in the store, I got a mask, but I have an N95. I got the joint. That's the one.
Oh shit! I don't have the one. I don't have any mask. I guess I should get a mask.
Well, and they're just suggesting any mask right now because it's, coughing or breathing into it. While it doesn't like stop you from breathing in around all the air around you, if somebody's coughing around you or whatever, it helps you stop spreading shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if they suggest everybody wears masks, whether you got it or not, you stop spreading it. Rather than us not taking it in. That's the point of that, because the N95 masks are the ones that seal up, and then they have the filter on them, and that's the N95 filter. And they're the ones that filter out all the nanoparticles like that, like viruses and shit like that. And I think there's like carbon that it goes through and neutralizes them first. Then you breathe that air. And so those ones, you could be in like a room full of sick people and be breathing and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, theoretically.
Yeah. Yeah. You could just wear garbage bags too. That's what I saw some nurses having to do out in Cali.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Really fucking terrifying.
See, dude, that's why motherfuckers got to be paying attention.
Yeah, it was crazy. I heard about it from a nurse out there that was on a podcast, and he was talking about just like there's been internal crisis within hospitals for years where they all have like a code, I guess, that is like it's emergency like overcapacity where they can't take any more patients, like, but of course they have more people that need to come in, and like that happens like all the time.
Scared the shit out of me. Go ahead.
I know. But it just happens all the time, and now it's just coming out to the forefront where it's happening everywhere all at the same time. This doesn't happen all at the same time in different hospitals, but now it is, and it's just like...
Yeah, they have a name for those rules, too. I forget what they're called. I listened to a Radio Lab podcast called Playing God, I think. And it's about that entirely. It's about... They do a few different examples. One of the examples they give was like one of the main hospitals in New Orleans that was like at the epicenter of the flooding. And
Katrina, you mean?
Yeah, during Hurricane Katrina, but it was like at the epicenter of that. And they went through, some of that, and later on went through some like controversy as far as whether they handled that the right way or not. And there's like all these different arguments of whether, you know, as long as you do your best, is there a right way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought. And just so to add a little perspective, a little context. So in that story, you hear about so all the generators, all the stuff for this hospital was in the basement. Or at least it wasn't all there, but some of the shit was there, and it was important enough that when it flooded, it fucked everything up. And you know, they were just like trying to get people out to this helicopter that kept coming back, and it would take like 1 or 2 patients at a time. So they were trying to choose like who they could take and who they, you know, couldn't. And it gets crazy. I don't want to talk about it. Besides that, it's a little dark.
They had to do that in Italy. They like came out and were like,
oh yeah. They're doing
that.
It
was just like ages.
Well,
it was
and they're
just like,
doing
if
that.
You're over 65 and you need a ventilator, and somebody who's younger than you needs a ventilator, the person younger than you is gonna get it. And like that's like, have you ever heard of that problem with the railroad, like philosophical problem? You know, the train is going and it cuts into 2 different tracks, and you can save like your like grandmother who's on one of the tracks, or a group of like 100 people.
Oh yeah. You're supposed to hit the grandma.
Supposed to? I mean,
yeah, you hit the grandma.
You don't have to hit the grandma.
Well, no, but the thing is that those hypotheticals never take into consideration like actual people. So it's one thing to be thinking about hypothetically driving a train or driving a truck down a road or whatever, but like this actually happened in Hurricane Katrina, and they got to the point where they knew they wouldn't be able to sustain a lot of these people that needed equipment to survive, and that they also couldn't move them, and that they had nowhere to go anyways, and that those people were going to die, and made a decision and euthanized all kinds of people. Yeah. So again, it gets crazy.
You can't euthanize.
You can when you're fucking in the middle of. You can when you're the doctor in a hospital that hasn't had contact with the outside world in 3 days, and nobody's coming.
Well, so maybe I'm confused on what that word means.
They gave them morphine until they went to sleep.
But maybe I'm thinking euthanasia. I think I'm thinking of that. That's different.
What, you mean killing somebody? Yes, they
That's
gave
not
them
what-
morphine
That's
until.
not what euthanasia is. It's not. It is killing someone, but it's killing someone on their behalf. They ask you to do it.
No. Okay, euthanasia is that particular, especially like that whole thing. No, I'm talking about euthanized. Euthanized just means to kill something humanely. You euthanize it. But humanely is quote unquote. That's like that's the thing. When you euthanize a pet, the pet didn't say it wants to. It's not agreeing. No. I'm talking about they got euthanized by a doctor. And then later on, those doctors were under persecution, whether they murdered these people or not.
Do you think they did?
To be honest, no. But do I think they made the right decision? Probably not. But do I think they made the best decision for what they were stuck with at the moment and with the information they knew? I'm not blaming them. Not for. It's not like I have a better decision. It's not like, well, why didn't you just do this instead?
Did those people being euthanized save other people's lives?
Arguably. Saved resources.
And that's what I mean in a situation where you're like, we're lacking resources.
Sure.
We're lacking funding.
But then you find out why some people ended up on that list. And I'm not talking about racial or nothing like that. No. We're talking about a healthy old man that's completely coherent and cognizant of everything that's going on.
But just based on age.
He's too heavy and couldn't walk. 300-something pounds, couldn't walk. Nobody could carry him up and down. It was like some 18 floors, and then through this little hole that's like 3 feet, and then back up 6 floors to the top of this old helipad thing. And like they would have literally had to carry him. 300-something pounds. They couldn't do it. Euthanized him.
Jesus. Yeah, Katrina was a fucking mess.
Hell yeah, but it's not just that. They go. That's the example they start with. They go into a few of them. One in like Slovakia, I think. All kinds of places like that, and then one for Haiti in the earthquake. And man, that's a hard job to have, and I don't blame anybody for any decision they have to make when they have to make those decisions, unless it was something like racial or something like that. But you know, that's a heavy question. Who lives and who dies? That's whoo, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, great way to start the podcast, Justin.
So I thought you brought that up. You didn't bring that up?
You brought up Radiolab.
Shit, I did bring up Radiolab. That's because it's tight. Shit.
It is
This is
tight.
basically like a long-ass Radiolab commercial.
Right. Yeah. An extended Radiolab commercial.
Hell yeah. They're always asking for money. Well, you know what? I gave you a commercial. I'm going to donate to that shit one day, though.
One day.
Not
One day.
today.
But not unless I'm getting that riverboat cruise. Fucking Steven Ski. Because that's what I want. I want to go up that Arkansas. That's what I want for our sponsorship, Radiolab. That's what I'm saying.
Damn, that'd be
Do that
tight.
riverboat cruise.
Hell yeah.
Let's.
I'd like to go outside. Would be sweet.
Want to talk about beer?
Oh, yeah. I haven't drank this beer yet because I've been waiting. Tell me about it.
So this beer is, after you like the one that we had last week, I decided to bring in one of my favorite ones and just an example of the style. This brewery's been making this beer for, over 100 years. I believe they were over.
So this one is the same style as last week's? The one I liked.
This is like the one with like the, I think the one last week was more of the same style, but you would see more of like smaller farmhouse breweries doing that kind of stuff. Saison DuPont. This one here is more of like, this brewery's existed for a long ass time. I wish I should grab the bottle to see what year the brewery actually established. But, this is like old Belgian breweries. This is the beer they make. They don't really make anything else except for this and maybe some like extra cuts off of this, just doing some different stuff. But this is like world-class level Saison beer. And the last one we had was just like the farmhouse ale or a Saison as well.
Did you call it DuPont the first time?
Am I not saying that word right?
I don't know. I'm asking you if you called it DuPont.
Saison DuPont.
Oh, I don't know. No, I know DuPont as the paint company.
Chemical company.
Oh, yeah, the chemical company makes good paints, though.
I just remember, I think Jeff Gordon drove for them when I was a kid, and I had some friends that were into NASCAR, and so I think he drove for the DuPont
Yes, sir,
car.
he did. That's true. Anyways, what the fuck does that have to do with beer?
I think this beer name might be older than the American DuPont chemical company name. I don't think they have any connection. I believe they speak French in Belgium, or do they speak a different language that's like French, like the Portugal to Spanish, the French? I don't know.
Belgiumese.
Belgiumese. What is the language called from, if there was one from-
Belgian.
Belgian. Yeah. I think that's what I read in the Wikipedia article.
Oh, yeah. I have
Belgian.
a homie named
Flemish? Is that
named
what-
Theo,
no.
and
Dutch,
he speaks.
French, and German.
What is it?
Dutch, French, and German.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it's regional because I think those are all the borders of Belgium.
Go ahead.
And,
what did you say for it?
It's because I thought you were handing me that, and I was like, ooh, then I remembered.
No. You got your own, boy.
I know. Like
Social
I said,
distancing, boy.
Like I said,
Stay your ass over there.
I remembered.
Shoot. Now go on about your liaison.
Yeah, the liaison. But this part I think is closer to France, and so it's definitely like a little bit more like fancier of a beer, definitely than the one we had last time. But same kind of idea, same kind of grain bill, same kind of hops that are going to be used. But I just think it's such a fantastic beer.
Oh yeah, it looks like pond water.
Pond water, huh?
It's not bad, but it'd be better cold. Remember last time you were talking about, it's got to warm up or some shit. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Get me some ice cubes.
Yeah, it should be a little colder, but we took a while to jump into this.
Yeah, it looks like pond water, and then it's like the temperature of pond water.
It's not the temperature of pond water.
Right now, it's about lukewarm.
Yeah, but
You also have another beer that you said was the special one for today.
yes.
Should we try to drink that one before it gets more pond
What
watery?
the fuck is up with these fancy ass beers?
Well, they're not that fancy. They're just served differently.
Well, then
right?
why are you buying 40s?
Can I
Just
drink
get
it
a
out of there?
6-pack like regular.
No, you shouldn't drink it out of here.
This boy came in with a Mickey's.
You know, on my way over here, I did think that I think at some point I might have to get some 40s.
Hell yeah. For something tight.
But not tonight.
Not tonight.
And this one was at the store, and I had to grab it because it normally doesn't sell in stores. And so to see it in a store, I was pretty excited, so I grabbed it. But we probably need
What is it, vinegar?
Maybe it could be. It could be just complete shit, or it could be really amazing. I'm so excited to drink this beer.
All right, well, I'll slam this one. Tell me again why we need a cup. Or no, I'm sorry. Tell me again why his cup had to be that shape.
It doesn't have to be any shape. It just does help to have some kind of like taper at the top.
Help what?
Keep in like the aroma instead of just being like open, letting that shit just all come up. It's like why a wine glass is always tilted in. You don't see wine glasses that open at the top. They always taper in, always.
Yeah, that's for pouring.
No, you don't
If
pour.
If you taper off like that, it pours off the sides all funny. That's why it's so hard to pour out of pans that are tapered off the other way. You taper on the inside.
There is drinks
all
you
of the
pour
all
into.
of the liquid is focused into a thinner spout type pour. So it just makes it in your mouth easier. If you were to do it in a different, having it like this makes it go into your mouth easier than if it were the lip were to be out.
Absolutely, and so that does have.
What does
to
that
do
have to do with the smell, though?
What does it have to do with the smell?
Yeah, the
I'm
aroma.
telling you, man, just try it. Pour a beer into like a wine glass, let it sit. Pour a beer into a tumbler, and let them sit for the same amount of time, and then like give them a little stir, and then smell the top of the glass, and then see if you see a difference in the smells. And I think you will.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it.
I mean, if you look at what the glasses were designed for, what they were shaped
Pouring.
for, it's not for pouring. I mean, it is a benefit, but you have other glasses. Like look at a martini glass that is a 45 like degree, or like angled sides that.
Yeah, I know. Those get all over the place. That's why you're
Right.
supposed to sip them.
But
they're angled like that so that you don't drink them all fast.
so the point of it is that glasses get designed for the liquids that go in them and how you should drink them, right? That's how they get designed. Now, it might be a benefactor also when you're pouring wine because it comes out of this type of bottle that we have that we put corks in at that size, so they had to be that size at the top, and they pour a certain way. Yes, that's an added benefit. But if they needed to change the serving style, or if they needed to change something to fit the glass, they would, which is why you pour martini from a shaker, because it goes out slower and it filters all the shit back so that you can just slowly pour it into that dumbass fucking, what is it called? Just a martini glass.
Yeah, I've always called it a martini glass. But what I'm saying is that you have a martini glass that's shaped that way for its particular purpose or whatever. You wouldn't drink beer out of that. I get it, right? But everything else, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if wine glasses are shaped that way because of the aroma effects of all this stuff that you just said. Or
do you think I'm making this up?
Or if that's the easiest shape to make a bowl or a cup or a glass or anything with, and wine is a very old drink.
Sure. But
so when
there's
you
wine glasses that are specific to the style of wine, red, white, and it's beyond just red and white. You have like Bordeaux glasses, and I don't even know that much about wine, but in the beer world, the same thing happens with different styles, have different glasses that have grown through history as the traditional glass to drink them out of, or a glass that most people drink them out of for some kind of reason to do with the experience of drinking it, whether that's smelling, tasting, seeing, whatever it is. It's about the experience of the person drinking it. And so you'll see like big bulbed wine glasses, which are meant for like bigger, bolder wines, or like, for instance, like cognac. Have you ever seen a cognac glass? Those are like really like usually short, fat, like bulbous glasses with a smaller like opening at the top. And you
Cognac?
Yeah.
Cognac.
Cognac, yeah.
Cognac.
That's the one.
Cognac-y.
I think you're saying it wrong. Cognac.
Right. And so the reason that glass is shaped like that is because you want that cognac to open up and having a bigger surface area, which is why it's like a big fat round bowl, lets that alcohol open up. Some of the like stronger, like bigger smells and volatile chemicals are going to come out of the drink as it's sitting there. As you swirl it, as it warms, it's going to kind of come out, and you want that to have that bigger surface area to allow for more of that to happen, and for you to also be able to swirl the drink without spilling it, right? To, you know, kind of move that process along a little bit. And so there's a classic cognac glass. Like, a liquor does it, wine does it.
Are you making this
beer
up
does
as you go?
Yeah, dude, I made all this shit up.
Or is there like a place to read up on glasses? Is there like a glass
I
university?
may or may not have read books
you know what?
about glasses.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you.
Ooh, a cognac glass is called a snifter glass.
Snifter
glass, my bad.
Yeah, sure. I believe you that they have different names for each glass. I even believe you that there are different glasses that are made to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a thing just called style, and style comes a lot from tradition, and tradition comes from what was available at the time. It had nothing to do with how something was supposed to be tasted or any of this extra. It had entirely to do with what was available. Oh, in this area, they've been making this type of beer since fuck knows 1289. And in 1289, they didn't have access to all the wood. They had access to this wood. And this wood was really easy to turn into this. Or maybe they didn't have access to nothing. They had access to some other fucking kind of metal. So this metal, they were able to make these type of goblets with it. And as time progressed, you continued to just use that same goblet shape, even though glass and crystal have taken blah since. And it's like, you know what? That's where it came from, but it had nothing to do with the smells or none of this stuff. That all they did was make sure that it didn't spill, because glasses that spill suck.
I think there were some glasses, and specifically for some things like what you're talking about, like say mead. Or like low alcohol beers, low alcohol wines, where stuff that like people were literally drinking that shit all day. It was more about the comfort of being able to drink that, just like we drink through cans, right? It's all about that ease of being able to just go crack it open and throw it away. Like there's no dishes, there's no nothing. It's easy. Same thing with like just filling up the same cup all the time that doesn't spill because you're just fucking, drinking all day. But it's usually low alcohol stuff. And depending on what you're drinking, will even like shape simple glasses. Like if you look at like German beer, what's the famous old school German drinking glass?
The mug.
And in German, what are they called with the top little flippy
I'm not
thing?
fucking German. Do I look like a fucking German?
I mean, a little bit. Your skin's a little bit lighter than I think I remember last.
Look, boy,
maybe it's the German coming out.
I ain't never been to no Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never been to Munich. I ain't never been to where's another place? What's the one that starts with a B?
Bolivia.
There's all kinds of
Boston.
I'm talking about in
Bogota.
Germany. Bogota.
Berlin.
That's the one. The Berlin Wall. That shit. I ain't never been there.
Berlin Wall.
I don't know nothing. I know that kindergarten. That's a German word. I know when people say Gesundheit. That's weird. and I'm sure there's other German words. But besides that, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Stein.
I know 9.
Stein.
I know 9.
No. Stein.
Oh, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
So what's Frankenstein?
That was a doctor in a fictional novel, I believe.
No, that was real.
It's definitely real.
Non-fiction. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My bad. I misspoke.
So if anybody listening is from Belgium, from the 1400s, hit us up and let us know about glasses. So tell us about this other beer.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't get that far into it.
So I've been talking all kinds of jazz about this brewery out of South Longmont, and their name is Primitive. I think I've said it wrong probably 3 different times in 3 different ways. But this one, like I said, normally they only sell beer out of their brewery, or you can order it online from them. And they're only open 1 day a week, to sell their beer, and it's in Longmont, so I don't get up there all the time. But then I found this one in my local liquor store in Lakewood, so I had to pick up a bottle. And this one's 𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 from Primitive Beer. It's a 2-year blend lambic, and so they brew lambic. All of the shit they do is through something called méthode traditionnelle. And so, speaking of Belgian breweries, what a méthode traditionnelle is,
I don't want no meth.
Is following like this, like I think it's 23 or 24 step process, mirrored after the like traditional Belgian lambic process of creating these amazing lambics that, you know, they've been doing this for hundreds of years.
Are lambics like blue and clear crystals, blue in the TV show, clear brown crystals that motherfuckers smoke and get high? Because it sounds like meth. You talking about cooking meth. What are they doing?
They're making beer.
I've never heard nothing about no lambic.
Lambic is a different style of beer, just like lager is a style of beer or IPA is a style of beer. Lambic is another style, but it's a whole nother level. It's the same as beer as in...
So they just don't serve this in restaurants or what?
No, they do. I mean, there's certain restaurants that, like in other countries, that will sell lambic, that a bottle of good, really nice aged Cantillon is like a big giant...
Now it's going to be reptilian, boy?
Cantillon.
Is that a really big number?
That's a Rob joke.
Shout out to Rob and his jokes. Watch out for those Siberia tiger buskies. That's what Rob says.
Anyways, it was born in captivity, and then what?
Fuck. What were we?
I don't know. You had said a lot of words that I'd never heard put together before. I asked you about lambic.
Cantillon. Yeah. And so you can find restaurants that sell bottles of this shit that's a couple years old, 6-7 years old, for like a G.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
And like, so this, I mean, but the lambic, it takes time to make these. They all spend at least, from this brewery, they all spend at least a year in a barrel before they go into a bottle.
Who do you impress when you buy $1,000 bottle of beer?
Probably other brewers or probably other beer nerds.
So do you do it at like a specific spot, or do you like buy it on your own and Instagram it, or like what are they for?
Well, some like people, like a lot of people will hold bottle shares where they'll go and drink these. Or a lot of people will go out there to the brewery, like brewers and stuff will go out there to go drink or go to like, I only know of a couple places. I don't actually know of any place to buy that stuff in Denver, but like in Philly, there's a place called Monk's Cafe, which is like an OG place that's been doing it since like the 80s, which was not popular then. These bottles have gotten a lot more popular. Back then, you know, they would probably top out at a couple $100 for a really, really nice bottle. $60 would be like, holy shit. Now to find a bottle of Cantillon in America for less than like $40-$50 coming to your table, like I don't think you'll ever find anything for less, because it's too much, and the beer is too high quality, and usually it's like a couple years old before it even gets to America.
So what is this first one? Is this high quality?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a high quality beer, but it's a different style. So this is just a saison, and the biggest difference there is the yeast that you're using. Like this has the same kind of yeast as the beer we had last week, same like strain, right? Same species of yeast in this one as the one as last week. But the big difference in like beers like this...
How do you know it's the same species, boy?
Because the species of yeast for saisons, most of them have been cultivated from older saisons like this one.
Oh, okay, cool. I get
and
it.
even you can even now buy this. This beer is so famous. The one you're drinking now is so famous. Its yeast profile has been cultivated by other companies. They've sold it. That like home brewers can buy Saison DuPont yeast, the same yeast that the brewer brews with. You can brew with that. And the same thing for breweries here in America. They could use Saison DuPont's yeast now because it's commercialized, that species can be put in other people's beers, that they've essentially sold a product just like, you know, weed strains. Yeast are, you know, the same thing. It's just a different organism.
Weird, so crazy. Sorry, right? I didn't mean to go that deep. That's just nuts to me. So tell me about this one now. So this one here is the one you're excited about. So this is
the American version of this. And so
out of the two, this is the one that you're excited about.
Well, I mean, I'm always excited to drink Saison DuPont. It's one of my favorite beers ever. I love that beer. And so I'm always happy to drink it. And that was just the beer I planned to drink until I saw this one at the store. And so this one is the American brewers that really love lambic came together and made these like 24 rules that you have to follow, which are crazy. Like, I don't know them all, but they're really strict, and also still just an attempt to try and mirror breweries like Cantillon and mirror their processes as best you can in America. But the hard part about all this is that it's so dependent on your region, because that's where the yeast is coming from, is where you're at. The yeast has to be able to do that job. You have to be able to cultivate that yeast in the buildings that you're putting the beer into and have them live there and have successful yeast that makes tasty beer, not just like the shit we drank last time. Remember that really sour beer we had that tasted like shit that you chugged and it like killed you?
That Warhead, yes, I'll never forget it.
That one's a spontaneous beer made in like downtown Denver, like South Broadway. So you could imagine what's the air like down there.
Trash.
That's coming into that brewery and fermenting that beer compared to this beer.
That's yeast infection.
Compared to this beer that's on like the south side of Longmont, almost out of town. Oh,
that's yeast infection too, boy.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
This is the one that you said you had to drive out to Longmont to get.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm also glad you don't have to drive all the way out there. So
I don't know if I've ever actually been to Longmont.
I love Longmont. I'll probably live there someday.
Is that right, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Or at least up on that side of town. I like the north side of town. The north side of town, like Longmont. Or even like Commerce City is probably the next place I'll move. And then I'll probably make my way up to like Longmont or like Loveland or I kind of like the western side of I-25, but the eastern side I can see myself in and up there if I found the right property.
Crazy.
In-house.
Crazy.
But yeah, I want to open this. I need a bottle opener for this. I don't think I can pop it with the lighter because it has that big lip.
That lip will help you, but...
You can try if you want.
Nah, because
we should probably also just give these glasses a rinse too. I want to give this beer a fair shot. I know.
No, leave mine. Just for the record, y'all, I have at least 8 glasses in there that look like the 16-ounce glasses that they give you at any bar. Any of them. You get a beer, it comes in one of those cups. About 8 of those motherfuckers in there. He refuses to drink out of them. He's a fucking beer snob.
They are perfect.
You're a beer snob.
For water.
What about Kool-Aid?
Yeah, Kool-Aid, that'd be good for Kool-Aid too. I think you might get a little bit more of the aroma in a wine glass, but I just don't think there's the chuggability in a wine glass that you're looking for with Kool-Aid.
Hey, you be serious? You don't do that to me, sir. You got to clap us back in. All right.
You told us like for 15 minutes last week about your clap.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're like, nah.
Because again, I don't want to break the mics, boy. You don't understand. Like I said, I make some sound waves that most motherfuckers ain't ready for. I'm sure I might be responsible for some eardrums that have blown. They might have been on their way out already, but I'm sure I was like that tipping needle. It was my clap. They went to a Bronco game and everybody clapping. It was already going to happen. And then right in front of them, I started clapping. And boom, one side goes into a buzz.
I tried smelling the beer like Steven does, and it smells like beer.
It's crazy, huh?
It's for a lack of knowing the words to describe it.
I smell beer.
You smell beer too?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you guys really have that.
It smells like sweet beer.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck. That one's sour too.
Sour, but like a little bit sweeter.
This is what sour beer is about.
Yeah.
This is different than... Like this is like, so the big difference here is that yeast, because this yeast does a different thing to the sugars that come from the same kind of grains that are in something like Saison DuPont. This is just a different kind of yeast, similar, but this is also being barrel aged as well. So this is sitting in like barrels that were once used for whiskey or wine or port or some kind of other barrel. That's why I wanted to look up the what barrels this one is from, because it'll tell us what kind of barrels they took. And so this one is 2 different styles of barrels. So it's the beer sat, 2 different beers sat in barrels for at least a year, maybe a little bit more. Then they took those barrels, found the ones that they wanted with the best like flavor profiles that they're hitting, and then they blend those 2 together. And then that blend is what gets mixed together and then put into bottles and then gently re-fermented. So it's still when it goes into the bottles, but there's still a little bit of the yeast, like you saw in Erick's drink, kind of floating down in. There's still a little bit of yeast and bacteria and stuffs in there. And so it re-ferments it and gives it that little bit of bubbliness, which I think is like the carbonation on this is crazy. At least in my opinion, the way that like when you drink it, it comes in with like a nice like kind of biting carbonation, but then it just like slopes down as soon as it like kind of hits the back of your tongue. The carbonation just kind of dies out really nicely and finishes like just really smooth as you swallow. It's really nice, you know, like because it starts at almost like a champagne bubbliness down to a really quick like what's a really lightly carbonated thing? I don't know. Like really nice mineral water that's like super like small bubbled mineral water. You guys know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like finishes there. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. But
no, I've decided this isn't beer at all.
No, it's lambic, which is just another like style of beer. It's just not an American thing you see much.
It's not beer. It's not beer at all.
It is beer. It's been beer for hundreds of years.
This tastes like kombucha.
I could see the same kind of bugs doing their thing in kombucha as similar, being very similar to the stuff that does their thing in here.
No, it tastes like kombucha.
Oh man, there's some note in the nose that I cannot.
It's all sour.
Fucking figure out what it is that I know it.
It's a G sharp.
It's a G sharp.
The G sharps. Is that your acapella group?
It should be.
Oh yeah.
No, you were just talking about a note in there.
Yeah.
It's always a G sharp.
Is it?
Or just a natural G.
Yeah.
Shout out 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 with like food. What about beer?
Oh yeah, you can pair. Beer
What would
and
you
food.
pair this with? Like a good French toast?
No.
Let's take
No, I
a
don't.
power bar.
A power bar?
Oh, yeah, you have a power bar and a kombucha real quick, and you're
Just,
good to go.
yeah, probably like a bag of hot Cheetos.
You know what I mean?
I got some in the car.
Yeah, grab them.
Not like
Mexican
not
ones.
a brand name power bar, either the super duper
The
organic
7-Eleven
one from
brand
Trader Joe's.
one?
The Trader
Ooh.
Joe's one.
Cliff Bar with
Yeah,
3
yeah.
Fs.
'Cause this tastes like kombucha. Have you ever had like them fancy ass kombuchas that they have for like $6
Mm-mm.
at Whole Foods and shit?
Kombuchas.
Boy, I tried one time, thinking that it was gonna. I don't know what I was gonna be. I just wanted to try it. It sounded bomb. Sour. It tastes just like this.
Disagree.
Do you
but-
remember what
You disagree
that
my
specific kombucha was?
Any of them.
All right, so next time.
Kombuchas are alcoholic as well, though.
Slightly, right? Slightly.
Yeah, they usually have about a 0.5% because they're just the fermentable product in kombucha is tea leaves, and that's why you get like a caffeinated, slightly alcoholic but also carbonated beverage is because
Sour.
and it's sour because it's a related whatever the bug is in there that does the kombucha thing, which is just feeding off of like kombucha will like eat anything like a kombucha. It's called a what the fuck is it called? It's got such a stupid name. A Scooby.
A SCOBY.
A SCOBY, that's what it's
Yeah.
called. A SCOBY is
You
what.
know what the fuck he's talking about?
I feel like you just thought I made up everything I've said
Hell
tonight.
yeah. I feel like, yo, you have me, like, after we started talking about all this shit about the cups, and then you went off about the cognac cup, I legit had a moment where I was like, this fool is bullshitting about everything. He knows nobody's looking into it. He's making all of this up off the top as he's going. I'm sure some of it he knows a little bit, so he's throwing in these words that sound official. I could do that about some shit. I do it sometimes to be funny, but it's not like real. And if I'm like, man, you're making this shit up, and then all of a sudden this motherfucker chimes in and corrects you and knows what you're talking about. What the fuck is going on here? Is this an April Fool's joke?
Science.
Are y'all fucking with me?
No. Yeah. So, what else was going on, man?
I don't know. Game been bored still.
What are you doing to stave off the boredom or the whatevers while you're stuck at home during this time?
I ran. I said I was going to do that the last time. Done that. Ran about 8 miles since then.
Very nice. I've walked a little bit. I've not ran any.
Oh, yeah, I can't walk. I got to go, boy.
I gotta go.
Got to get going. That's one of the things I tell myself when I get tired. Is like when I'm tired, I like remind myself about that time that I wanted to run. And it's not even like a specific time, like what I'm remembering right now, or like, oh man, I really wanted to run. It was just like, remember that there have been moments in your life where you've been like, fuck, dude, I'd do anything to just run right now. And I can't because I'm stuck sitting here. You know? Mm-hmm. And
so I feel a little bit right now.
And so, as I'm running, trying to get back to what I was running a few months ago, but I hadn't run in some months. So, as I'm running, I'm getting more tired quicker. And, I mean, yeah, that's one of the things I tell myself real quick. I'm like, man, I mean, I am tired, but I would have done, goddamn, almost scared the shit out of me.
I thought you were just about to start a beat with that. It was like some Pharrell shit over there.
That was hard, fool.
Hit me with like 3 more of those and, gosh, bring in the ice creams.
Hell yeah. Anyways, yeah, I've been running. I've been playing video games. Shit. Playing that Call of Duty joint.
Was there a do what?
What? It's the Warzone joint, so it's like it's free for everyone. It's basically Fortnite, but Call of Duty.
Oh. That sounds like fun.
It's hard as fuck.
Like difficult or cool?
No, hard. Like that's just hard, B.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I would say hard in a different tone of voice. It would be like, damn, that shit's hard. No, I guess that sounds the same. You know what? If you heard it, you'd know the difference, though. And probably not. But
I don't actually think I've ever
life.
heard you say a video game was hard, so I should have just defaulted to knowing that you meant
I don't think anything's hard. Fuck it.
neat. Seeing
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
is
say
what
I don't think I've ever heard you say hard in like in a difficult sense.
I get annoyed when people use that word. Especially as an excuse. And that's when it's used the most. Nobody ever talks about how something is hard as a matter of fact.
Could also
you know
be
what I mean?
referring to like how solid it is. Like
oh, yeah,
opposite
sure.
of
But I'm talking
soft.
about like that. When they're talking about hard in that context. Otherwise, you mean hard, like solid, or hard, like, damn, that's tight. All these other words.
Yeah.
That's cool, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Hard's, I don't think there's a problem with hard, right?
But
I
it's
think
not
there's
just cool, though. That shit's hard.
Right. But what I'm talking about, like the one that you said that not a lot of, you don't hear a lot of people using only when they're making an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Do they use the word hard as in a synonym for difficult, not a synonym?
Oh, yeah. I hate motherfuckers.
Not an
That's
antonym for
hard.
soft.
Yeah, but it's not that easy. It's hard, you know?
And I think,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah.
So what?
We just shouldn't look at hard as an excuse to not do something, nor should we be afraid of hard. Like, hard is good.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it's not hard. Like, you want to zoom out and make a big point? Like, okay, look, it's hard for, like, okay, man, this is going to be a weird context, but you run it like this. You take people and individually they say something is hard. A lot of times it's just an excuse.
Yeah.
And they're using that excuse, though, because if you zoom out into, like, a community, it might be hard for a community, which is a different story, right? Because if something is hard for a community, you're not talking about making excuses anymore. Now you're talking about, you know, like, having to solve a problem. But then people take that hard and they apply it to themselves individually to make it like, because it's hard for the community, my excuse to not try is to just say it's hard. Mm-hmm. And I fucking hate when people say anything is hard. And anyways, that's just one example of how that word comes out. But man, I fucking hate when people say shit is hard. And like, oh, I can't do blank because it's hard. Okay, well, have you done anything to try to like work up to doing that?
Right.
Like before, is it like, and it's just like, well, they're just, not
because
interested.
they're not wrong. It's usually they're not wrong in saying that it's hard, but it's wrong to use that as an excuse to not do something or to be afraid of doing something.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
and that's when I hear
hard.
it the most.
Like when I
That's-
taught
oh,
math,
man.
every excuse was it's hard.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Fuck yeah, math's hard. Like
Everything that you don't know is hard, and then you learn, and it stops being so fucking
well,
hard.
I don't know, man. I still do math, or I still did math at that point a lot, and it was still hard to do.
Yeah.
At any level, it's still just never easy to do some things. Even when I was like, I think I'm a good mathematician, but it's never come like really easy. Some things do now a little bit that are like oddly automatic in my mind. Like sometimes addition and subtraction will happen really quick, or multiplication in my mind, and I will have to like think about the math and be like, oh nope, that one went automatic, and it was correct. But not like algebra. Like I can't like look at an equation with two variables and be like X and Y are this. Like I got to write it out, and because math's not easy.
Sure, okay.
It's not as hard as it used to be.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I meant by that at all. But sure, yeah, there's a lot of things that are hard forever. The point was, though, is that's never an excuse not to do something. Ever.
Agreed.
Like, your excuse not to do something has got to be something else. It's difficult is not an excuse. And I don't like it. And I don't know. Y'all motherfuckers deal with me. I'm sure you've heard me say that to people before. What you gonna do?
Hope they listen.
Well, if you want to work with me, you gotta listen. I don't got time for that stuff.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Justin.
Ain't nobody got no time for that. What you laughing about over there, Eric?
Somebody, some random lady posted, Caroline, keep my name out of your thin mouth. And I don't know, that's just hilarious. We're also about
Carol Baskin.
I haven't watched that shit.
I haven't
that
either.
shit's hilarious.
Does seem
It's
funny.
crazy. Oh no, it's not, like, I don't mean it's hilarious. That shit, the jokes on it's crazy.
So that the alligators that burn in the series were Michael Jackson's.
The what?
The alligators that burned.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, are Michael Jackson's.
Damn. Oh yeah, I think they even said that.
Didn't I see somebody post that the animals, like a bunch of animals from that ranch, live here now on like a sanctuary somewhere in Colorado?
Somebody posted that I saw.
I didn't see that.
No, I thought you posted it.
Haven't seen it yet.
I don't know, but yeah, it sounds like 60 of them or something live here in Colorado in a sanctuary.
Yeah. But, and of course, I think from the beginning, it's never a question if like these foods are being cool to animals. It's like entirely about these fucking crazy white people in the South.
What state is this in?
Oklahoma, I think. And,
Oklahoma.
And maybe Tennessee or something.
Multiple places?
Florida, maybe.
Florida makes the most sense. It sounds like a Florida thing.
One of these foods has one at Myrtle Beach. Anyways,
I just heard this dude is like racist. Like this man.
Oh
is just
man,
like,
you always
he's
stop reading the fucking reviews from Vox.
It wasn't a review from Vox. It was a video of him yelling about why he couldn't say the N-word.
From where? Oh, yeah.
I don't know where it was from. It was just a video of that dude doing it.
That was in. No. It's because it's not about small stuff like that. It's about how fucking crazy this is. That was in a 1 hour campaign video for president. That little piece you saw is not from like some movie part or whatever. It's from he was running for president in 2012 or some shit. And he did a whole 1 hour campaign video walking around his tigers. Fucking half of it is talking about that bitch Carol Baskin. Because that's where all these fucking, and it's not just, he's always talking that bullshit. That's not where just the memes are coming from. And this is a real dude. He wasn't doing this for TV. He's in jail now. Like, this was a real dude. It is a real dude. He's got coronavirus now, as a matter of fact. They released it today or yesterday that
Joey E's got Corona V.
that he's got.
That's the title right there.
But fucking Joey's got what the fuck did you say? That shit was hard, fam.
Joey E's got Corona V.
You said 𝗄𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃. That was tight. That was hard as fuck. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, he's a real dude. And so what you saw was a small snippet from his campaign video, which they only show a little bit. They talk a little bit about real quick. But it wasn't until I saw it later on. It's an hour long. This fucking dude's crazy. Everybody's crazy. All these white people are fucking crazy. And you got to watch it if you're interested in crazy. That should interest me.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know. I heard it seems long for what it is.
It's episodes, though, so just watch the episodes as they go. You don't got to fucking binge watch it. Nobody told you to watch it at once. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. You're the one acting like it's...
I'm just kidding.
Just start it then.
Yep. Tiger King. Maybe. We'll see. I just started some other show that I like, and so we'll see.
Which one?
The 100. Been into a lot of sci-fi recently.
The 100?
And Devs. Oh. Ooh, Devs. That one's good.
No, I just started Ozark.
I just finished Ozark. Last night I watched season 3, episode 10.
Yeah. Well, I've only gone like an episode or two into season 2.
What's that dude's name? Jason Bateman?
Yeah, that's the one. He's
awesome.
cool.
But he directs like most of Ozark too. Yeah. And so it's like next level. So good. Because it's like, what the fuck? Season 1 is really good. I can't really remember. They blur together because it was a while. It's been a while since season 2, and season 3 just came out. But it was like over 2 years in between season 2 and 3. So it's been a while since I watched 1 and 2.
Hell yeah. You know what else is crazy about these shows? Like when they end on these crazy cliffhangers, and they're just like they're in the middle of conversation, and then just.